Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place, a very important place, where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. And if you like to see us live in WMVA 88.9 FM studio or WGPL 1350 AM studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to 1400 AM, 1350 AM, and click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning. Mr. E, is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace, 95.3 FM, WMVA 88.9 FM, WGPL 1350 AM, and WPCE 1400 AM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. And guess what? We got Instagram in the house this morning. Good morning, Instagram. Make sure you all like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Go to our newest channel on YouTube. That's FYI Radio Show. Host Yolanda Hinton. And you can always check us out on Crystal Records 1 on YouTube as well. CRISTO Records 1. And we promise, if you do it now, we'll shout you out.
Shut up. Yeah.
Woo! Miss E, how was your weekend?
Had a great weekend. Didn't do too much of anything. Talked to the grandson and kicked the cow, hit the bull, made the cat scream and holler.
All right. Your new grandson, did he say hi to you and all that goo-goo gaga?
Oh,
He's not goo-goo gaga yet.
Not yet. He's got one of the beautiful smiles you ever want to see at such an early age. I looked at him and I had to say to myself, that's a handsome young man.
He is a handsome man. Did you let him follow the star? Because I see you got on your Dallas hat.
Well,
but we'll talk about that later. Oh, wow. I had a wonderful weekend. Oh, my goodness. Food, folk, and fun. Our family, we had almost like a little family reunion this weekend. It was so marvelous. And some great things happened this weekend. I'm so excited and thankful. Just a wonderful, relaxing weekend. And glad to be in the land of the living and back here for our Mondays. Sports talk.
Bang, bang, boom, ding, bang. Get him, hit it.
I think you're ready, Mr. E.
I'm ready. I'm excited. I am ready for some football. I'm glad football is back.
I tell you what, we have a wonderful guest, Mr. Brian Fuller. He's our guest today. Are you there?
Hello, world. Hello. Yeah, it's Norfolk, Virginia. But how are you great people doing this morning?
And look, you sound like you're ready for some football too, Brian.
Man, I've been anxiously waiting the entire summer, Mr. E. You know, that the NFL week has kicked off. So yes, I'm excited, sir.
Oh, wow. Well, we're going to talk about it week 1.
That's
we're going
right.
to talk about the winners, the losers, who made an impact, who impressed us. Oh, my goodness, Mr. E, where should we start?
Let's start at the number one thing that's on the market.
I know we're not going there.
No, we got to go there because he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Okay, I'm going to let you serve that tea. Look, I'm going to let you serve that tea, but that tea is just going to be one of the things that we're going to do some other things before we talk about them Cowboys.
Say that again, let me say it.
That tea.
Dak Prescott. You said Dak Prescott.
That's what I'm talking about.
Dak Prescott, I mean, we want to say congratulations to Dak Prescott, one of the highest paying football players in the NFL.
Look, you all should have seen him come through the airport. He had on a pair of, a black and white jacket. It looked like some leggings I just bought. I said, boy, you are very flamboyant with all that money in your pocket. And then he had a nerve, Brian, he had a nerve to say, well, it's not about the money.
That's good.
I said, carried out about all that money. Brian, what you think?
I'm glad that you brought that to the forefront, Ms. Hinton, because you are absolutely right about it. Too much flamboyance.
Ooh.
This is the season is just beginning.
Yeah,
Mr. E. So don't get to count those chickens.
Look, my grandmother and mother used to say, hold your horses.
That's
and
right.
The cows, hold your horses.
So we got the horses in the stable. We just let them out a little bit at a time. You know, it was a barn burner on yesterday. So, but we ain't going to get into that yet.
I want to know what, Brian, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your team. We want to know who you root for during the NFL season.
Well, I hope that there's some new listeners. The ones that send this, they should know that, I am a part of a show myself, the 580 Boys. And the 580 is the area code in Oklahoma. And so that's where I reside at. That's one of the great states in the Midwest.
It's a sweet state.
The San Francisco 49ers, that's my NFL team that I've been rooting for since my childhood. First team with 5 rings, Mr. E, before your Dallas Cowboys did. And Ms. Hinton, I just have a love for the sport and the game, playing it, and as well as, getting into journalism and wanting to analyze the game as well.
Tell our listening audience, who are some of the folks that's a part of the 580 Boys?
The 580 Boys, you know that I got the CEO is Mr. Cedric.
Oh, you ain't
Cedric.
The sports in the mix.
You ain't telling me nothing. I don't believe that.
He's another delusional Cowboy fan.
I think you just been drinking some haterade. I bought a new can that's out, Miss Hinton. That's called, instead of being Lysol, it's called Hater Salt.
Haterade.
Look, now, Mr. E, you talked about how Baltimore lost just by an inch
by a toe. Yeah,
I know it.
By the toe. We haven't got there yet.
But I mean, that was one of the first games.
That's right.
And we should cover that because it was by a toe. I said the man should have got a longer shoe or a longer toenail or something.
Or a shorter shoe. And he should have got some white cleats to put on.
That was so bad.
It was by a toe. The Baltimore Ravens the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Baltimore Ravens 27-20. What a barn burner. I was looking for more out of the Baltimore Ravens because I'm thinking about going up to see Baltimore play. I was thinking to see Baltimore Ravens and the way the Kansas City Chiefs and running gun. The Baltimore Ravens reminds me of a high school team where all the plays had been surrounded around the quarterback.
You wasn't saying that last season, Mr. E. So let's talk about week 1. Mr. E already throwing shade. What you say about the Ravens?
Well, I think that the Baltimore Ravens are a great team this year, but They got to go do better than what they're doing. Bryant, they got other players on that squad besides for Jackson. You know, all the plays has been surrounded around Baltimore. What do you think?
I think you know, you make a point, E, about that. I mean, as far as you know how the offense is constructed, from what I've seen, I see that Lamar is still an MVP type of quarterback who deserves a lot of money as well because he kept the Ravens in the game with his legs, Mr. E. You know, his receivers obviously couldn't get wide open enough.
And the running back couldn't run.
I think the Ravens need to improve on the offensive line.
And the running backs couldn't run, and everybody just surrounded around him.
What was the score, Mr. E?
The score for the Baltimore Ravens was 27-20. The Kansas City Chiefs, they won that game. Another game that we looked out for was on Friday, Miss Hinton, that folks was sitting by mesmerized too, because on Friday night, nobody really know that football was being played until September 6th rolled around, and the game was the Philadelphia Eagles versus against the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely. I missed that, but give us the score.
The score was 34-29.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Close.
yeah. That was a very close game. And Barkley scored about 3 touchdowns as the Eagles beat the Packers 34-29. Then there was another game and started.
Don't go past that yet. They're off on a good start. Brian, what do you think for Philadelphia this year? You think they're going to come through this year?
Yes. All you Eagle fans in that area, you should be real optimistic because judging on the division they're in, the NFC East, the Eagles should easily win that division with the amount of firepower.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Brian. Brian, you hit a sore spot. You said who should?
They won in Brazil or in another country.
They might have went into Brazil, Brian, but guess who they was playing? The Green Bay Packers with a new quarterback, that Jaden Love, and got hurt over there in Brazil. No. So when you look at the division, you got to stay in your division, worry about your division, and leave the work of our division to the Cowboys.
Oh my God!
That young man
got hurt. You got to keep him healthy.
Hurt with an MCL injury. That's so unfortunate. But now let's not forget who took you guys, Mr. Dak, and the Cowboys out of the playoffs.
That was bad. That was bad luck.
The past season.
You sound like you sound just like your CEO, Cedric Bailey, talking loud, ain't saying nothing. Mr. Let's go on to yesterday's games and let's start looking at these barn burners.
Okay.
I want to say good morning to Dr. Alvin Rooks. Boy, your boys pulled it through. The Pittsburgh Steelers 18-10 against the Atlanta Falcons. Did a wonderful game. What do you think, Brian?
I'm thinking that Justin Fields is going to be the general this year. Russell Wilson may just have to sit back.
Yes,
young man.
That's right.
He has one. He's up 1-0 right now.
That's right. And I think that also. And I think that also Kirk Cousins need to stay in Minnesota.
Yeah, he stays in Minnesota. Hey, we might as well call Kirk Cousins a bank robber.
That's right. He robbed the bank without a handgun. Then we got to look at the Cardinals against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills came through, Ms. Hinton, 34-28. And then we turn around again and we look at some of the other scores. The Tennessee Titans lost to Chicago Bears. What a great game that was, Brian. I want to say congratulations to Jonathan Owens. He picked up that great scoop and scored the Bears touchdown.
Oh yeah, the Bears. Oh my goodness.
And blocked the punt.
Don't you have a Bears fan in the house here?
Edward Johnson.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to you.
And then the New Orleans Patriots came through, Bryant. They won 16-10, Ascension. Then I want to say congratulations to Stevenson. He's finding the pocket, threw 3 touchdowns on yesterday. Then the Texas and the Colts, 29-27. That was a close ball game. And then we look at the Jaguar. Well,
wait a minute,
let's go back.
Wait a minute. Let's serve some tea first before you start talking about the Jaguars and the Dolphins. Let's talk about your boy Tyreek Hill being detained before the game.
That's old Miami. You know, see, they're superstars.
What's going on?
Brian, what was wrong with Hill? What was wrong
What
with
happened?
Hill?
What was wrong with whom, Mr. E?
Hill.
So Miami dad police officer placed on administrative duty after Dolphins star Tyreek Hill detained before the game. Before the game. They came through.
Tyreek.
And they had him on reckless drive. He was reckless driving and all that stuff. He was driving, and so he said he didn't want to pull the wild card out on him. In an interview, he said he could have pulled the wild card, and the wild card was that he was a Miami Dolphin. It
says Sunday morning, just hours before kickoff, Hill was detained for a short time by police, and they after the traffic incident. The team said on social media, Hill's agent said the wide receiver was ticketed for a moving violation.
That's right.
And it's not clear why the situation escalated.
But they came through 20-17, and I got to give it to him. He scored a touchdown. And did you see, Brian, Miss Hinton, did you see the camaraderie of the after the game, after the score, and how they put handcuffs on the back of him and
that's cold. That is just too much. Brian, I tell you, it's a lot of drama, but they did come through. The Dolphins came through. What you think about that?
The Miami Dolphins?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I thought that that was pretty competitive game with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, they have a lot of pressure as well, because they paid Trevor Lawrence a lot of money, and he just hasn't produced as he did a few seasons ago.
Wow.
So with Tyreek, I hate when those athletes, they get a lot of money.
Yes.
Get a lot of headlines, but it seemed like it didn't distract him.
It didn't.
That's right. He came through.
But he was concerned. He was concerned about other folk. He said, "What if it wasn't me? What if it wasn't Tyreek Hill?" He was just he just couldn't understand why he was targeted or whatever. But he just felt like, hey, he's going to get by because, of course, who he is. But he said, what about other people that go through these situations? So they came through, like you said, Brian, and wasn't distracted, and he did his little dance. He was a happy brother.
I mean, with the handcuffs behind his back. The New Orleans Saints came through with the Carolina Panthers. They won 47-10. My boy down there, and with the Panthers, we had him on our show one time before. Well, they went down by the drain. Then the Giants played against the Minnesota Vikings, and they ate up the Giants. So I hope now this time, that last year that there was a fight for the last place totem pole. That was the Giants against the Commanders. So now the Giants lost again on yesterday for week 1. So the score was 28-6, and my hat's off to Andrew and to Jones. Now, then came the CEO of the 507 boys, his team.
The Raiders. I'm sorry.
His team. I can imagine them sitting around the table. The 50, what is the 580 boys? Them sitting.
580.
The 580 boys. They sit around the table. 1 star, 1 49er. And a Raider.
Who's the star?
The star is Dion. Dion is the star. Okay. And Brian is our guest is the 49er.
Okay.
And the CEO is Mr. Cedric Bailey, is a Raider.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk, Brian. Go ahead.
He's still kind of sick right now. I don't even know if he has to work today. He's gonna call in.
Well.
Mr. E served some tea when I got here. Said Brian, he said that Cedric was calling up here crying on his shoulder.
All on my shoulder. First thing this morning. I mean,
shout out to Cedric Bailey.
I couldn't get in my office fast enough. And I said to myself, he called me, said, I just want to let you know that the Raiders is not going to do anything this year.
All right. Did he say that?
That's what he said. He said that the Raiders not going to do anything, but soon as the wind go, he said, I got some pictures of Dion Brody sitting over in the corner with his head in his lap, crying because the Cowboys didn't make it. Well, this is week one. And you already done shot your boys in the foot already.
You supposed to be ride or die for your team.
22-10.
But Brian, I'm gonna ask you: is Cedric really a Cowboys fan?
He don't know.
With that facade of the Raiders? Is he really a Raiders fan?
Yeah, he just woke up. I remember one day he was a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, he knows the janitor at the Dallas Stadium. He knows the concession stand working. And then one day he just up and went back into his razor. They had the what's his name? The coach that had them nasty fruit.
Yeah.
He went back on the ship.
Oh man!
I just don't understand you.
For him and Mr. E to together both be in the same boat at the end of the season.
Well, you might as well say I'm gonna be in the same boat, but tonight you might be playing the scrub team tonight. Tonight you might be playing the New York Jets, but don't underestimate the Jets. Huh?
You can't disrespect Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
all right, let's talk about it.
You can disrespect Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers left the Green Bay Packers. A lot of cheeseheads are upset this year because Aaron Rodgers gone. They said he should have been riding in the sunset. But Aaron Rodgers said, I'm 47 years old, and I'm not going to give up now. I'm going to play for the New York Jets, and maybe when the 49ers come tonight, I'll bliss on them.
Only thing he's gonna do is get back on the jet, going back to New York with an L on his back.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm just telling you, Mr. E. You know the 49ers have had a rough training camp because they didn't sign Trent Williams until late, and they didn't get IU signed until late.
That's right.
So those guys have to get back in shape. But they still got the baddest man at the running back.
All right.
McCaffrey.
And this is just week one.
Well,
so we still got a time. But Mr. E, you got to go to your boys, them boys, the men out of the hour, Dak, and all them.
Dak money.
And all Money Man and the Stars. Let's talk about it. The Cowboys and the Browns.
They got a little song out now. They got the Stars Are Bright, Stars Are Bright. First little star you see tonight. That's the Dallas Cowboys. That's what Brian went to sleep by last night.
Brian, why Mr. E always going all hard on these Cowboys? Let's talk about it.
We got to talk about how Cleveland needs to.
Ooh.
They got to have a very, very stern team meeting today when they're watching film because their offensive line, they must do not like Deshaun Watson.
Well, you got to make sure
he didn't get hardly any protection.
I know.
Make sure. Make sure you
what
call.
What happened to Deshaun?
Make sure you call Steve Harvey and tell Steve Harvey that they're going down the drain.
Deshaun hasn't played Miss Hinton a full season in almost three years now.
Wow.
4 or 5 years. I think he just hasn't got back into football shape after his injuries. That's still no excuse.
See, that's all you do is have excuse for all of them.
Outplayed. You guys outplayed the same old Cleveland Browns, Mr. E.
But did you see when Micah Parsons put a hit on him and D Ware, they put a hit on him and he laid down on the ground like, please help me, please help me.
Yeah, he can't keep continuing to take those type of hits.
And they put some on him too. So the defense is sending a message to all the leaguers out there. Get ready to rumble. Now you can bring McCaffrey out there if you wanna. McCaffrey got hurt last year. But we're gonna have to put the finishing touch on McCaffrey this year.
So Brian, did the
Yes, ma'am.
Cowboys win because they were so good yesterday, or the Browns were so bad?
I'm glad you asked that question because it was the latter. The Browns were just so bad.
Oh
I mean,
man!
they were coming in with the number one defense,
Wow.
supposedly, Miss Hinton.
You know, Miss Hinton, Miss Hinton, every time we talk to Brian, his main thing is beat them Cowboys. Them Cowboys, them good old boys. So the thing about it is I expect him to have some haterade. I expect him to need a crying towel. I expect him to, be like Cedric.
I'm gonna tell you what I expect. I expect that you got all this money in your pockets. I expect you to play good every game. Now.
Well, see, Dak can play. He gonna play good. Dak got out there. He deserved the money because he got his foot torn off and still got out there and played. He got his thumb hurt last year and still got out there. He deserved to make that money more than Tony Romo, more than the quarterback before him. For Tony, he deserved to make that money. And also, my hats off to him, and I'm giving him a power sign for being an African-American quarterback.
Well, let's talk about some of the other guys on the team, Prescott and all, and what did they do yesterday?
Well, Prescott did good, along with Ezekiel didn't do too good, but ran a little bit. But Cook did good yesterday. Mm-hmm. Cook did a wonderful job, and the kick return, he did a wonderful job. I mean, the defense played, the offense played. They looked like they was at halftime. They had the lead, and they looked like they wanted to rest and go back to that. But they pepped back up because the score was not over with until the fat lady sang. So the Cowboys won yesterday. Mr.
Well, what
Brian,
can we expect from them, Brian, this season? What you think the Cowboys are going to do?
So the past 3 seasons, Dak has won 12 games, but they still exit early after playoffs. I look for them to win 10 games because Mr. E, as the weeks go on, the teams will have film, and McCarthy's going to run the same old thing. So when next week you may have an L coming against the New Orleans Saints.
Wrong.
That's the next opponent.
That's right.
Better defense. They quarterbacks threw 4 touchdowns yesterday. I think you may be up. You may be up for a challenge against teams that can score and they have a good enough defense to put pressure on that.
Well, Mr. Wait a minute. Before we talk about Washington, I want to skip to the Rams and the Lions. I got a chance to peep on that. What do you all think about that game, 20-26, with the Lions barely winning, but they won?
Detroit
what do you
won.
think, Mr.
That's right. When I saw the game last night, a little bit of the game last night, I said to myself, Detroit, you look pretty good. And the Rams, y'all got to go back to the drawing board. Miss Hinton, they got to go back to the drawing board. And so David Mahanari, he did a wonderful job last night. They call him the Wise. He won in overtime. They won
Absolutely.
The ball game in overtime. Congratulations to Detroit Lions. That's my baby brother's team.
All right, Commanders, what's going on? How did you do?
The Commanders, they went down the drain yesterday. Poor fellas.
Brian, we need you to chime in on that. What do you think?
Now, I mean, I'm not a Commanders fan at all, but I do admire the young man who won the Heisman, J.D. Gaines. Yes. I like to see him be successful, and I think he will.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. We don't expect him to win 10, 11, 12 games. Same old Washington Commanders.
Oh,
so you
say
who come from Dallas? This
you said it came from Dallas. Oh my!
That's what happened to him. We had to get rid of him to a scrub team.
Go down there and I mean just dominate.
Well, I mean, Tampa Bay came through, and I was looking for Tampa Bay to come through because Dan should have stayed with us. He shouldn't have never left, so he got to get the beat down. So now there's two teams that we talked about, the New York Giants and the Commanders, going to be fighting and wrestling for last place again.
All right now.
You're right.
But that's going to be a great game tonight, Miss Hinton.
So, Brian, high hopes for what team beside yours? Who do you think going to come through this season?
The Cowboys.
The Kansas City Chiefs, of course. When I look at maybe the Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
I see Chicago.
Them Cowboys.
Oh, what you think the Cowboys?
Mr. Flamboyant already showed you what he gonna do.
I mean,
he's gonna get some stretch pants. What did you say, Miss Hinton?
That's right. I'm gonna give him the matching stretch pants that I got.
Let that man wear.
He wants to be on GQ magazine and all stuff like that, Mr. E.
Well, y'all are haters.
He was just stretching. You should have seen him, Mr. E.
He can do that. He's the only quarterback in the NFL that's making big bucks. He can walk with a cow, walking right beside as a horse. As a pet dog. He can walk like that. He can walk with just like that with a cow as a pet. Tonight, watch out for New York Jets. New York Jets, they going down the drain. We got to get out of here.
Brian, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on FYI Radio Show Sports Talk. You all come over here for a few seconds. We're going to give you some upcoming shows.
Bye, Brian.
Bye.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton. I'm Everette, the co-host. If you'd like to be a special guest sponsor of the most talked about radio show, give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can email us at FYIRadioshow@gmail.com. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on the most talked about radio stations in the whole wide world. That's WPCE 1400 Peace 95.3, WGPL 1350, and WMVA 88.9. Have a wonderful day now, okay? Bye now.
Mr. E, yesterday's games were fire. I looked at the Cowboys and they looked ready. You all look ready. I'm telling you, look good, ready. You're talking about some big money. You're talking about $60 million for 4 years.
That's 200.
That's 240 smackaroonies.
That's
240 million smack. That's a lot of money.
That's a whole lot of money. That's $240 million a year.
That's a lot of money. You all
a
come
year.
Through.
He coming through. He deserve it. I mean, for 4 years, he get that kind of money. I mean, he deserved it. His ankle got broke. Yes. I got to give it to him. His ankle got broke. So when his ankle got broke, he went right on out there. Got his Medicaid card, and when he got his Medicaid card, he came through.
I want to say good morning to my beautiful friend, Miss Sheila Robbins. All you all, make sure you say hello in the chat so we can shout you out. So, Mr. E, week 1 is fire. We had some great people that are out there doing their thing for the teams. The teams all look good, energetic. I thought all of them had gone to the school for tumbling and ballet. I mean, it's just they were just so smooth, just like a dance. And it was really good to see football back.
Well, they had a lot of training. They went through the training. They had the speed tests and everything. But I was just elated. I was just happy, for all the teams that played yesterday, because I'm saying to you all, I was so bored with TV. Ooh. I saw so many Netflix movies and Prime movies. I saw so many of them till it really got on my nerves.
Make sure you all have your teams, all the stuff that you need to rah them and cheer them on. We're going to have a great season. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go to a game, a professional game. I have high hopes, Mr. E, that we will get our chance this year, 2024-2025, to see a team. We don't know which one, but we're hoping that we'll be able to do that.
It doesn't make a difference to me. I want to go just to go. I can
Yes.
go see some other team. I would love to see them and and watch them play.
So, Mr. E, you had your chance too. I need a chance. You all let me know who's going to tell and give us those tickets. Miss Mardell Lewis, how are you? She said, "Good morning, my two favorite people." She said, "I finally got you." Thank you so much for tuning in. So, yes, week one is wonderful, wonderful week. Mr. E, what can we expect this evening?
Well, you can expect this evening. You got the 49ers playing against the New York Jets,
Wow.
and Aaron Rodgers is the man of the hour.
Absolutely.
You know, Aaron Rodgers used to be
Absolutely.
the starting quarterback. He's age 47 years old, and he's been in the game longer than Tom Brady. And because they call Tom Brady the GOAT man, so Aaron Rodgers is the old man out there on the field.
Do you think he'll ever, he'll retire in the next year or two?
I think he'll retire this year. This will be his last rodeo, I believe. I believe.
But he's still strong, playing good, or what?
Well, we'll see tonight. We'll see
Okay.
tonight because we want to make sure that everything that he does is on point.
Absolutely. So you all keep watching. We're going to watch the game this evening. And also, don't forget to check out FYI After Dark, a replay. We'll be back in the fall with our live shows. We would love for you all to be a part of the audience or a special guest sponsor. Mr. E will give you that information later on how you can do just that. Also, whoa, and whoa. Tomorrow, the presidential debate.
Yes.
Now, listen, we're going to cover that on Wednesday. We want you all to tune in. Have your comments ready. We may open the phone lines, but we're going to talk about this debate that everybody's been waiting on, Mr. E.
That's right. Everybody's been waiting on this debate between Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, and the convict.
And that's true, though.
Well, see,
that's true. He's a convicted felon.
He's a convicted felon. I'm not trying to disrespect. A lot of people figure that I'm trying to disrespect him.
No, he's a
I'm not
convicted
trying
felon.
to disrespect him. I'm calling it like I see it. He's not the president of the United States.
Nope.
He's Mr. and I'll put a handle
Donald
on
Trump.
his name. He's Mr. Donald Trump. He's a convicted felon.
He's a convicted felon.
That's right.
Yes.
And of 2 times. And he's got
34.
He's in the court system right
Absolutely.
now. And he's a molester, and better known as Chester the molester, because you got to remember, he said he can do anything he wants to do to a woman. And not only that, not only is he in that vein, but he also created a lot of ruckus and a lot of problems.
Ooh.
He had called for folks to go into the White House and cause havoc in the White House. He was behind all of that.
Oh my
He even taken scrippers who were already out there and want to take all her stuff away. He had folks go out there to the she's already a scripper. Now, I mean, this lady is a scripper.
Stop.
This lady is a cripple, and they already took her stuff away from her. She only making one kind of money, scripting money, and he done messed around. Right. He done messed around and went out there and took that scripper money, and now
Okay, stop.
And now since he
Listen,
took his
y'all,
money,
let's get this debate done and over with.
So
what can we expect? See, that's the T right there.
If I had to debate him, I'd call him everything but a good child of God.
Mr. E, that's going to be the T. How is he going to act? How is he going to cut up? Is he going to approach her? Going to have it at this debate. The Lord only knows.
That's right. Only the Lord knows, but I'm so glad that the mics will be on mute. After each one of them finish talking. I am so glad that
How come you don't want to see him in his true form?
I really don't want to see I don't see Kamala Harris really get put her hair in a ponytail
and come out of character.
Because the thing you got to remember, her name is Kamala.
Kamala
Harris. In the hood they call her Kam.
Oh, right now.
In the hood they call her Ma.
No, she ain't in no hood.
In the hood, they call her
But she
Slim.
is for all people, and we got to see the issues. We've got to see, the things that they believe in. Let's find out. Let's look at this very carefully. We're going to be on Wednesday with this, the news story of the day, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
So what's your opinion on it?
Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see how it all going to play out. She's preparing now. He's playing golf. He's playing golf. She's preparing, to really, really give a substance to, the debate. And so that's what we want to see. We want to see a good debate.
That's right.
And we know how he can act and cut up. A lot of people are looking forward to that too. And so let's see. Also, coming up, we're going to talk about pushing the votes.
Yes.
We've got to push the vote. This is September, Mr. E.
That's right. September,
and we don't have long. It's less than 2 months.
We got less than 60 days,
Uh-huh.
so we can go down to the poll. We want to let everybody know that when it comes down to voting, make sure you go down to the poll. Make sure you register to vote first of all.
Absolutely.
Register to vote. Get as many people as you know, Miss Mordell Lewis and the Steppers, get as many folks that you know to go down to the polls and to make sure that they're registered. You know, Miss Hinton, that right now you can collect registrations. You can get a pad of registration forms and go door to door and make sure Lottie Mae and Johnny Mae and Silly Mae is already registered to vote, and you can sign them up, and get them registered to vote. And then if you have to, take them down to the poll.
Or early voting. You can vote online. You can vote through mail. Don't forget, you don't have to walk out your house to vote, but vote, 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 vote.
That's it.
Also on Friday, we're talking about issues concerning women, and we've got to really visit one of the biggest issues on the ballot, and that's going to be women's reproductive right. And where do men stand in this picture? I heard a man today talking about his wife and how she had to have a procedure and they wouldn't give it in this particular state. She almost bled to death. He was so concerned, and he said he was ridiculed for being a concerned husband. And so let's talk about that, and let's find out where people stand with issues concerning women. Also follow us on social media, and also you can be a special guest. Also visit our, before we give that information, visit our websites, our sponsors at Bulvic Academy, BULVIC Academy. When I hear that name, I smile because I just, got emails that, all this stuff is that name, don't mess with it. It's mine, Bulvic Academy, all that stuff. God has blessed me to have rights over those names, and go to that website and get the information from there. There's going to be some updated information on there as well. Also, beardgods.com, BEARDGODZ. Visit that. Chris Hinton got great products for hair, for beards, all around. I mean, even for ladies now. He's just, you can get all that stuff, not just for beards, but just for hair in general. Follow us on social media, like our pages, and Mr. E's going to tell you how you can be a special guest, intern or sponsor with FYI Radio Show.
I want to say good morning to Miss Sheila Robinson, Miss Mardell Lewis, and also Mr. Mark A. Howard. Thank you so very, very much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. Also want to say happy birthday to my daughter, Miss Tia Mallory. Today is her birthday. Wish you a lot more
happy
days.
Birthday.
And, September babies that's coming up around the corner. And, Mr. Hinton, if they'd like to be a special guest or sponsor, don't forget, before I give them that tonight we're gonna have a replays of some of our old
some recent yes, definitely. Go ahead,
on our Monday night special. If you'd like to be a special guest or sponsor of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, all you got to do is give us a call at 757-714-7861. Again, that telephone number is 757-714-7861. Or you can email us at FYIRadiosHowLive@gmail.com. If you're on Facebook, inboxes at Whatever Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton Facebook page, or FYI Facebook page. And guess what? If you like to sit in our audience, just give us your email. We email you back. And guess what? We'll pull you in and tell you what time that you can sit back in our audience.
Look, don't forget, Make It All Right by Yolanda Hinton. Thank you for those that are supporting. Thank you for those that are downloading and just enjoying the music. Make sure you go wherever music is sold. You can get the new single, Make It All Right by Yolanda Hinton. Look, you all join us this evening for our replay and join us back here on Wednesday for the presidential debate. We're going to talk about it. We want to have your questions or anything that you want to know. Just make sure you be there on Wednesday at 9:30.
And also, we would like for you to participate. If you coming on with us and you looking at the debate, and if you chiming in with us, listen, write your question, type your questions in. Tell us how you felt about the debate. Tell us what you think need to be done. Tell us what you think need to be done at the polls. Tell us what you think when it comes down to voting for our schools, so our children to be safe going and coming to school. Let us know what we could do to make everything all right.
All right. God bless you. God bless you all that have chimed in. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.
2 up, 2 down, the ad.